Everybody, this is schizophil, bro. We're going to be talking about some broad philosophical talking points, and today we're joined by my friend Sam. Say hi, Sam.
Hey, you guys might have seen me in like the comments or his lives if you're a fan of his TikTok, or if you're new, you just haven't seen me before. So I love all you.
All right, first talking point. Can the rights of dead people be violated?
I think that not the rights of dead people. I'm on the atheistic side where I don't really believe in God, so that does change my opinion on this, but I think the rights of the family of the dead people can be broken. And so I think that's true to an extent.
I think that's a pretty agreeable standpoint. I'm going to say, well, I'll take the materialist view and the more atheist view on this and say that it cannot be violated because there's a lack of a subject to violate once death occurs. And as for the family members, I think the only pushback I'd give is that's not really the question, but it makes complete sense. Like the emotions of the people attached to the dead guy can feel as if that dead person has been violated.
Yep, I agree.
Um, and then if you were to adopt a theist standpoint, whichever religion you'd want to, what do you think then?
Um, I'd say just like Christianity for an example. I think that's true. If I'm taking that standpoint, even though it doesn't, it's like kind of weird, but I think there's more of a respect thing going on with the dead since they're still having an afterlife in that religion. So I think that that could absolutely, their rights could be broken.
Very, very interesting take. And then, as for me, I would say in the theist view, and since you said Christianity, I'll go Christianity too. Um, I think the rights of dead people can still be violated because the subject persists after death, but I don't mean violated in the same sense as earlier. What I mean is now there's a new law or a new set of rights that can be violated, one more biblical. So that could be well, I can't give a specific example off of my head. I'll throw up some passages on screen supporting that in the afterlife or something along those lines, people can be violated.
Cool.
Um, Talking point. Do you think it is immoral to give birth to a person?
No, absolutely not.
Interesting. Why is that?
Um, well, I know you're gonna say like because of all the sins and the bad things that happen to them when they're alive, but really, I think it's a question oh, of whether you believe that like just being nothing for all of eternity is better than like getting to live a life because that's like something very few people get to experience. So I think ultimately it is like a good thing.
I see. Um, I would. Well, you already know what I'm going to say. I would disagree as nothing happening to nothing isn't necessarily a bad thing because in the sense of someone not being born, it's not like they're missing out on something because there's no one there to be feeling as if they are being missed out. And I think in my view, I think it is immoral just because you're indirectly forcing suffering upon that person unavoidably, and people are usually against this thought because of like societal things, like, oh, we need to continue on the society by repopulating. Then I don't know if that's your standpoint, but if someone did say that, they'd have to justify why that's the goal.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that you had a good point there. But again, it kind of comes down to do you think something, if it's whether, do you think being born is overall a net good or a net bad?
There's an argument from asymmetry, and then I'm not sure. I'm not familiar. I'm not sure if it's this argument. I know there's an argument. I know the argument I'm about to present has a name. I'll look it up in a second, and then flash it on screen. But See, I would say that it's not a net negative. I would say overall it's negative, but there are good things that happen. I think the issue is people tend to look more favorably back on life than what is true. I think people see it in rose colored glasses and tend to be a bit more optimistic and unrealistic. And
Mm,
so automatically they view it in a light that didn't happen. So I think overall, if I were to balance good things and bad things and presuppose that good and bad had equal value, then I would say that it's a net negative because overall more negative things had transpired.
mm.
And you,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, for me, I think that even the negative things happening to the people, I think it's still overall kind of positive, those negative things, because they get to experience them. I mean, I haven't thought much into it, like I'm sure you have, but that's really my take on it. I don't know that there's so much stuff where it's like unexplained.
Um, well, off that, well, I'll say from that, I think it's really FOMO that's driving the view you've posited. But my only issue is like there's no subject experiencing that FOMO. There's no one who will regret not living because there's a lack of a person.
Are you sure though? Because you're a Christian, so wouldn't you believe there is a person?
Well, when a soul's eternal, I don't mean that it always has existed. I mean once it has been conceived and made, then it has been made for eternal life, and that gets into um, we could lead that into broader topics like salvation and the price of sin being death and how it can't be death. It's a thing. Keep in mind, guys, that this is a friendly conversation between two friends, not really debate. And special thanks to my boy Sam for hopping on the video with me. Alright, you guys have a wonderful night, and please watch part 2 when it comes out.